My 9-year-old granddaughter Lucy whispered 4 words that changed everything. "Grandma, they're stealing everything." In that moment, sitting in my own kitchen while babysitting the child I adored, I realized my son and his wife weren't just planning to betray me, they'd already started. If this story gives you chills, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments where you're watching from around the world. Let me take you back to where this nightmare began. 2 years ago, my world collapsed when my husband Richard died unexpectedly from a stroke. We'd been married 35 years, and suddenly I was alone in our 4-bedroom house, drowning in grief and uncertainty. That's when my son Marcus and his wife Sarah swooped in like concerned angels. "Mom, you shouldn't be alone right now," Marcus insisted, his voice dripping with fake concern. "Come stay with us. We'll take care of you." At the time, I thought it was love. I thought they genuinely cared about my well-being. How naive I was. Within 3 weeks, they'd convinced me to sell my beautiful home, the one Richard and I had lovingly restored over decades. "The housing market is incredible right now," Sarah had said, her eyes practically glowing with greed I was too blind to see. "You could get almost $800,000 for this place." I trusted them. God help me, I trusted my own son. So I sold everything. My house, most of my furniture, my independence, all of it gone. The $780,000 from the sale went straight into their account to help with expenses, while I contributed my $2,200 monthly Social Security check for room and board. But here's what I didn't realize at the time: I wasn't a beloved family member moving in. I was unpaid labor. Suddenly, I was responsible for all the cooking, cleaning, and watching Lucy after school. When they wanted date nights, which happened at least 3 times a week, guess who was the free babysitter? When Lucy got sick and needed to stay home from school, guess who took care of her while they both went to work? "Mom, you're so good with Lucy," Sarah would coo whenever I mentioned maybe getting my own apartment. "She needs her grandmother. Besides, at your age, wouldn't you rather be with family?" At my age? I was 69, not 99. I could still drive, think clearly, and live independently. But they were slowly, systematically making me believe otherwise. The isolation started subtly. When my book club friends called, Sarah would answer and say, "Oh, Dorothy is resting. She's not up for visitors today." When my church group wanted me to join their volunteer activities, Marcus would shake his head sadly. "Mom gets tired so easily now. We don't want to overwhelm her." Before I knew it, my entire social circle had evaporated. My friends stopped calling. The church ladies stopped inviting me to events. I was completely dependent on Marcus and Sarah for human interaction. They even took over my finances, to make things easier. My Social Security was direct deposited into an account they controlled. My credit cards were consolidated under their management. Slowly, quietly, they were taking control of every aspect of my life. But I still didn't see it. Grief had made me vulnerable, and they were expert manipulators. The wake-up call came from the most innocent source imaginable. Last Tuesday morning, I was helping Lucy with her homework when Marcus and Sarah thought I was out of earshot. They were in the kitchen, voices low, discussing something urgent. "The appointment at Sunset Manor is confirmed for tomorrow," Sarah whispered. "They said we can move her in by Friday if we bring the deposit." "And the power of attorney paperwork?" Marcus asked. "Already drafted. Once she's settled in the facility, we can have her declared incompetent. The lawyer said with her age and recent confusion, it should be straightforward." My blood turned to ice. Sunset Manor was a nursing home across town, not a pleasant assisted living facility, but a warehouse for people families wanted to forget. But it was Lucy who delivered the killing blow. After her parents left for errands, she climbed onto my lap and said in her sweet, innocent voice, "Grandma, are you really sick like Mommy says?" "Sick? What do you mean, sweetheart?" Mommy told Daddy that you're getting confused and forgetting things. She said that's why you need to go live with nurses who can watch you all the time. But you seem fine to me. That's when she dropped the bombshell that shattered my world. I heard them talking about how much money you have. Daddy said once you're in the home, they can use your money to fix our house and buy a new car. Is that why you're leaving us? My precious granddaughter had just revealed the truth that her parents thought she was too young to understand. The rage that filled me in that moment was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. These people I'd trusted, loved, and supported were planning to steal everything I had and warehouse me like unwanted furniture. But instead of confronting them immediately, I did something that would prove far more effective. I got strategic. Lucy, honey, I said, keeping my voice calm and steady, would you like to go on a special adventure with Grandma today? Her eyes lit up. What kind of adventure? The kind where we make sure the people we love are protected. First stop, my old lawyer, James Crawford, who'd handled Richard's will. I'd kept his number in my purse, along with all my important documents. Call it a widow's intuition that had served me well. James, I need your help, I said when we met at his office. My family is planning to have me committed and steal my money. I need to protect myself and my granddaughter. James's expression hardened as I explained the situation. Dorothy, what you're describing is elder abuse and financial exploitation. It's a felony. What can we do? Everything. New will, power of attorney revocation, account transfers, the works. How quickly do you need this done? Before they get home from their errands. While Lucy played with toys in James's waiting area, I signed document after document that would protect my future and ensure justice. First, complete revocation of the power of attorney I'd naively given Marcus 6 months earlier. Second, transfer of all assets to a new bank across town, $1.2 million in total, including Richard's life insurance, our retirement savings, and the proceeds from our home sale. Third, a new will that left everything to Lucy in a trust, managed by James until she turned 25. Marcus and Sarah would receive exactly nothing. But the most satisfying document was the last one, a formal complaint for elder abuse and financial exploitation that James would file with both the police and the state attorney general's office. Dorothy, James said as we finished, they're going to be furious. Are you prepared for their reaction? I thought about the 2 years of manipulation, the isolation from my friends, the way they'd made me feel like a burden while plotting to steal everything I had. James, I've never been more ready for anything in my life. That evening, I cooked their favorite meal, barbecue ribs with cornbread and green beans. If this was going to be my last dinner in their house, I wanted it to be memorable. Marcus and Sarah were unusually nervous, exchanging glances and speaking in forced, cheerful tones. They thought they were so clever, planning my imprisonment while I served them dinner. Mom, this is incredible, Marcus said, though I noticed he was barely eating. You really outdid yourself. Well, I smiled sweetly, I wanted tonight to be special. You never know when everything might change. Sarah nearly choked on her cornbread. Change? What do you mean? Oh, just life in general, dear. Sometimes the people you least expect can surprise you. After dinner, Marcus cleared his throat. Mom, Sarah, and I wanted to discuss something with you. Could we talk in the living room? Here it comes, I thought. The moment they revealed their plan. We settled in the living room, they on the couch, me in my favorite armchair by the window. Marcus fidgeted nervously while Sarah stared at her hands. Mom, Marcus began, Sarah and I have been talking, and we think it might be time for you to consider a change in living arrangements. I tilted my head innocently. Oh. Like getting my own apartment again? Not exactly, Sarah jumped in. More like, assisted living. Somewhere with medical staff and activities with people your own age. You mean a nursing home? Marcus winced. It's not a nursing home, Mom. Sunset Manor is a lovely facility. We visited today, and they have wonderful programs. I let the silence stretch, watching them squirm. Then I smiled and pulled out my phone. That's funny. I spent today exploring options, too. I called James. Could you come over now? Yes, I think it's time. Marcus went pale. Mom, what's going on? Just taking care of business, son. The way you taught me. When James arrived 10 minutes later with his briefcase, Marcus and Sarah looked like they were facing a firing squad. Good evening, James said formally. I'm here to discuss some legal matters concerning Mrs. Dorothy Richardson. I decided to start with the financial bombshell. James, would you please explain the banking situation to my son and daughter-in-law? Certainly. As of today, all of Dorothy's assets have been transferred to new accounts at First National Bank. This includes approximately $1.2 million in savings, insurance proceeds, and investment accounts. Sarah gasped. Marcus shot to his feet. You can't do this. That money. You gave us that money. Actually, I said calmly, I gave you that money under the understanding that I would live here permanently and be treated as family. Since you're planning to have me committed, I'd say that arrangement has been violated. The look of panic on their faces was absolutely priceless. James, I continued, please explain the power of attorney situation. As of today, Marcus and Sarah no longer have any legal authority over Dorothy's affairs. All previous power of attorney documents have been formally revoked. Marcus's voice cracked. Mom, please. Let's talk about this rationally. You don't understand what you're doing. Oh, but I do, I stood up, feeling more powerful than I had in years. I understand that you were planning to have me declared incompetent tomorrow. I understand that Sunset Manor was supposed to be my new prison. And I understand that you saw my grief as an opportunity to rob me blind. Sarah tried one last desperate approach. Dorothy, we can work this out. Maybe we misunderstood each other, but we do care about you. I laughed, not a pleasant sound. You care about my Social Security check. You care about free childcare. You care about having access to my money. But you don't care about me. There's one more document, James said, pulling out a final folder. Dorothy has updated her will. Marcus went from pale to green. What changes? I decided to deliver this news personally. The kind where Lucy inherits everything when she turns 25. You and Sarah get nothing. Sarah let out a sound like a wounded animal. You can't do this to us. We have a mortgage, car payments, Lucy's future to think about. You should have thought about that before you decided to steal from me. My voice was ice cold now. Did you really think I was too stupid to figure out your plan? Sunset Manor costs $4,500 a month. You had it all calculated, warehouse me, control my money, and pocket the difference. Marcus made one final, desperate attempt. Mom, I'm your son. Your only child. Dad would want you to take care of me. That was his fatal mistake, bringing Richard into this. Your father, I said, my voice dropping to a dangerous whisper, worked 60-hour weeks for 30 years so we could build something for our family. He went without vacations, without new clothes, without luxuries, so we could save every penny. And you were planning to steal it while I was still alive. I walked to the mantelpiece and picked up Richard's photo. You know what your father would say if he could see you now? He'd say he should have cut you off years ago. There's one final matter, James announced. Dorothy no longer feels safe living here. You have 30 days to make alternative arrangements for her residence. Alternative arrangements? Sarah's voice was shrill. This is our house. Actually, I pulled out my own folder, that's where things get complicated. Remember that $780,000 I gave you from my house sale? I have all the bank records showing the transfer from my account to yours. No loan documents were signed, but I have emails where you both promised I'd always have a home here. The dawning realization on their faces was beautiful to watch. Since you're breaching that agreement by trying to have me committed, I want every penny back. Plus interest. Plus compensation for 2 years of unpaid labor and emotional distress. Marcus's voice was barely a whisper. We don't have that kind of money. Then I suggest you get creative. Sell the house, liquidate your retirement accounts, and get second jobs. Or declare bankruptcy. Either way, you won't be doing it with my money anymore. As James packed up his briefcase, Sarah called out desperately, "What about Lucy? You can't abandon your granddaughter." I paused at the bottom of the stairs. I'm not abandoning Lucy. I'm teaching her the most valuable lesson she'll ever learn: what happens when you betray the people who love you. She'll understand someday, and she'll thank me for protecting her future. 6 weeks later, I was sipping coffee in my gorgeous new townhouse overlooking the river, watching boats drift by in the morning sunshine. The 3-bedroom place was costing me $2,200 a month, exactly what I'd been paying Marcus and Sarah, but now I had my dignity, independence, and peace of mind. Marcus had been arrested and charged with elder abuse, financial exploitation, and fraud. The investigation revealed they'd been forging documents and lying to financial institutions about my mental capacity. Sarah was charged as an accomplice. They'd hired an expensive lawyer and were fighting the charges, but James was confident. The evidence is overwhelming, he told me. They documented their own crimes in emails and text messages. The house was already on the market. Sarah had moved in with her sister and gotten a job at a call center. They were learning what it meant to work for their money instead of stealing it. But the best part of my new life was my weekends with Lucy. Every Saturday, she'd come to visit. We'd explore the neighborhood, work in my small garden, and bake cookies. She was adjusting well to the changes, and I was teaching her about honesty, consequences, and standing up for yourself. "Grandma," she said one afternoon while we were making chocolate chip cookies, "I'm glad you didn't let Mommy and Daddy be mean to you." "What do you mean, sweetheart?" "At school, they teach us that if someone is bullying you, you should tell a grown-up and get help. That's what you did, right?" Out of the mouths of babes. "Yes, Lucy. That's exactly what I did." Last month, Marcus accepted a plea deal. He got 18 months in minimum security prison and 3 years probation. The judge ordered full restitution, every penny they'd taken from me, plus interest and legal fees. Sarah avoided jail time by cooperating with prosecutors, but she'll be paying me back for years to come. The day Marcus was sentenced, he called me from the courthouse. "Mom, I know I don't deserve it, but I'm sorry. I was scared about money, and I made terrible choices. Can you ever forgive me?" I looked out my window at Lucy playing in my backyard with the neighbor's dog, her laughter carrying on the afternoon breeze. "Marcus," I said finally, "I forgave you the day I filed those charges. Forgiveness doesn't mean there are no consequences. It means I'm not going to let your choices poison my future. When I get out, could we try to start over?" I thought about it carefully. Yes. But this time, we do it with honesty, respect, and boundaries. And you'll have to earn back my trust. Some stories end with revenge. Others end with justice. Mine ended with both, plus something even more valuable, the knowledge that I had the strength to protect myself and the people I love. At 69 years old, I learned that being kind doesn't mean being a doormat, and that love without boundaries isn't love at all. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life stories of courage and justice. Drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from around the world. I love connecting with viewers from different countries and cultures. Have you ever had to stand up to family members who were taking advantage of you? Or maybe you've witnessed elder abuse and want to share your story. Send me your stories through the comments or our social media. With your permission, I'd love to share them on this channel to help others who might be facing similar situations. Remember, your voice matters, your dignity matters, and it's never too late to take back control of your life. Until next time, stay strong and keep standing up for what's right.